Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip. I am so sorry. We've been out of the loop a little bit. Me and Matt have been absolutely slammed with
Hmm.
onboarding calls. What we do, five last week?
It was
It,
enough.
yeah, it was enough, right? So things have been a little crazy. Just because we've had a lot of people joining Recelerator, so it's kind of backed us up on podcasts a little bit. Normally
Yep.
we only have like two, maybe three people join a week, but we had like 2 weeks back to back where it was like 4 to 5, and that's actually a lot of work for us.
It
So
is.
we are sorry about kind of being out of the mix for a minute, but we're back. And here we are. We're ready to help you guys. If you guys are not aware, Buyback Revolution is still selling on Amazon. Still selling multiple copies per day. If you want it for free, you can listen to it on the podcast as well. Many people have done that. So, but also some people like to have the actual physical thing. So you can
Yep.
find that on Amazon if you want to. Also, if you are looking for free stuff and you want an awesome course, I recommend joining the Nothing Held Back phone flipping community,
Hmm.
where you have to finish the course. It's 6 videos total. If you do not finish it, you get banned from the community and you have to buy your way back in now. So, but the cool thing about that is when you buy your way back in, you can actually earn your money back by finishing it the second round. So, that could change in the future, but I may just end up just straight banning and not letting you back in, which is what it was originally. So, if you want to join that, don't get banned. You'll get access to Buyback Academy if you finish the first course, and if you finish Buyback Academy, you get to keep it for life. So, check out the stuff below. Console Kings is also available. You can find that in the description as well.
Yes,
We
it
have
is.
a lot of people in there now, 80 something people. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's kick this thing off. Guys, we're going to be talking about reach outs today. Got a lot of stuff on reach outs. I'm working on some stuff for. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm just working on some stuff. That's what I'm gonna say. Um, But we are going to talk about reach outs today. We're going to be breaking it down. I know we got a lot of questions now with Marketplace limiting how many messages people can send and stuff like that. So we're
Yeah.
going to be going over that a little bit today. So stay for that part. But we're going to kick it off on why reach outs matter in the buyback funnel. Okay. So just a little bit of backstory here. I used to not do any reach outs at all, ever. It was not my thing. I did my first $10,000 profit month on ads alone. So
True
it
story.
wasn't really until Matt came aboard that I actually started looking at reach outs as a way to make money. Um, I just thought it was a waste of time, to be honest with you. But it's not. There's money out there. I literally sourced an area for a guy who finished Buyback Academy yesterday. I found him 3 deals in about 3 minutes. That was worth well over $500 in profit. Then that was just sitting there. And this is honestly something Matt does all the time. When
Pretty
somebody
frequently.
joins
Yeah.
Recelerator, he just kind of pops in their zip code and finds him about 20 deals every time now, I think.
Yep. 20 deals, every person, every zip code, period.
Crazy. Crazy. So there's deals just sitting out there, guys, and we're going to be going over that a little bit today. So reach outs is the first stage inside of the lead generation model. Okay. So it's different from Google My Business, ads, referrals in the way that it's a proactive approach
Yep.
rather than like a reactive, right? Like you're getting ahead
Hmm.
of the game.
Hmm.
Great thing I like about reach outs too is like nobody can really copy you in a way either,
Hmm.
like because it's invisible, right? Like
Yep.
people can go and look at your ads, they can look at your Google business profile, they can go and look at these other things.
Hmm.
But with reach outs, you're invisible. Like it's
Yeah.
all in the DMs,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So like and that's where you get a lot of leverage and you add consistency and volume onto that and then you have big leverage.
Hmm.
But if you also add a layer of skill and
Hmm.
items that you know are profitable and you start there every single day and just kind of go down the list of profitable items,
Hmm.
it makes it hard to not make money.
It's
Uh,
true. Yeah.
Even with marketplace like limiting people now, which we will get to here shortly, because we kind of have a way around it. Um, I'm not going to guarantee that, but um, I
Right.
mean the main way around it is like just expand to all platforms. Like, guys, I made $1,000 in profit off a Craigslist reach out a few months back. Like, there's money out there. So, uh,
Craigslist.
yeah,
Right. Like Craigslist is dead. Right. Oh, well, $1,000 dead, I
yeah,
guess.
$1,000 dead, right? But when you add the layer of consistency, skill, and volume together, it's hard to beat. In honestly anything, but with reach outs, it's really hard to beat, especially if you know what you're going in looking for, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, Matt, if you want to talk a little bit to that, like that's all you do is reach outs. Like,
I mean, it's true. I haven't run ads in a long time, guys. Like, and by a long time, I mean like years. And I'm next to like I co-host a podcast with, I would say, like the ads guy. Like that is Chris's genius. It's his thing, and like he crushes it and helps people in a massive way. Maybe the cool thing or the cool compliment between the two of us is that it's a great balance, like in the capacity in which we're able to really help the folks that come to us and want to expand their business. But Chris is right. I predominantly do reach outs. Reach outs can be a really, really effective way to get deals. And I also think it's cool. Like, I guess I would say myself, with the combination of some insight from Alex Hormozy, as Chris was reading, made for a potent sort of 1-2 punch to persuade Chris. And of
yeah,
course,
it did.
like he was saying, he's doing a reach out on Craigslist like a month ago and found a very high dollar, high ROI item. It wasn't just high dollar, it was high ROI as well. And when you know what to look for, you do have like an access to an endless stream of opportunity if you know what to look for. And I think that's the thing that people need to be aware of is it's not just this is not aimless. It's immensely strategic. If anyone's ever been on a call with me that's listening to this, they know that.
Yeah.
If any students are listening to this that are already a part of Recelerator or Console Kings, like you know that. And so, guys, every Tuesday I'll be doing reach outs. This past week I did 3 zip codes. Last Tuesday I did 7 zip codes, finding 3 to 4 items per zip code. And I mean, I'm not going to say that it's seamless, but it kind of is. It's just do, 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 do. And obviously, it's a skill that I've worked a while to hone and craft, but the opportunity is phenomenal. And if people are sleeping on reach outs, they don't realize like that is probably the easiest, simplest, low-hanging fruit within anybody's respective city or zip code. You just gotta start looking. That's
Yeah, I mean, you just got to know what to look for too, right? Like, and
right.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest thing that like Recelerator uncovers, right?
Hmm.
Is whenever you buy a red car, you start
Hmm.
seeing red cars everywhere, you
Hmm.
know? Like
Hmm.
that's how it works. Like you buy this one item, you buy a Xbox Series S
Yep.
one time, flip it, then you just start seeing them everywhere, right? You just
Yeah.
start seeing dollar signs. And it's
Hmm.
the same with all of those items too. Um, is like that's the way the game works is once you know the item, you
Hmm.
know it. Like now you know there's money in it. And every time you open your marketplace now, you can also train your marketplace account as well.
Hmm.
Like which is a very powerful thing, especially like once you start clicking on the right items, right?
Hmm.
But there's also a good mindset behind reach outs that I think people need to understand as well. Um, I remember when I started doing them, I started treating it like door knocking.
Hmm.
So for those of you that don't know, back in the day, I used to sell some vacuum cleaners door to door. Um, I hated it, to be honest with you. Like I hated it. It was not fun, but it taught me some stuff that I will never forget. It taught me
Hmm.
how to deal with rejection. Um, so the thing is, like, you need to expect rejection, not
Hmm.
just wins. Like
Hmm.
the wins come inevitably with
They do.
rejection, right?
Yeah.
Um, and there was a good book that I read while I was doing that. It was called Go for No. And the book was great and I highly recommend. It's a very short book too. But the mindset behind the book was just just don't leave until you've like gotten 30 no's for the day. Like it totally flipped
Yeah.
the whole thing on its head, right? It's like, oh, don't go for the yeses anymore. Like just go for the no's. Just start racking up no's.
Hmm.
Because the thing is like and here's what would happen. I read it and I was like, all right, I'll do this. I'll try it out.
Hmm.
So my goal was to get a no from my pitch at the door.
Hmm.
And you guys, I started racking up like 4 or 5 in a row and then I got a yes. And then I was like, oh, well, I got to do the whole thing now. And then the next door was a yes. And I was like, but I couldn't leave until I got 30 no's.
Oh man.
So it was a different mindset. Like it was a total flip, right?
Hmm.
Everybody's like, oh, I need to get 5 deals today, right? And you like make that your whole thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go after like 40 or 50 no's,
Yeah.
or 100, right?
Yeah.
By the way, just throwing this out there, reach outs is not only digital. Guys, if you guys go talk to people in the grocery store, they
Hmm.
probably have electronics.
Hmm.
If you leave your business card with them, they might contact you, you know? I mean, we live in like by the way, I've done this. I went door to door knocking for electronics before. It works. I should probably do it again. I should probably make a video doing that.
Yeah.
Because like there was a time in my business where I was just like, you know what? Let me just start knocking on some doors and see if like let me see if I can give some people cash at their door for their electronics, and it worked. I don't do it anymore because the ads work so well, and I get basically free leads at this point. But
Hmm.
like if you're really struggling to get started,
Yeah.
it's an option.
Yeah.
If there are humans, there are electronics. So
Yeah.
there's a big mindset behind all of that. But
Yeah.
every no is still progress.
It really is. And I think people got to realize like when you're getting in this early on and you're like starting a business lean, or let's say you're starting from a side hustling capacity, um, I think one of the things is, people might see the opportunity that is presented with Recelerator and go, wow, gosh, like people seem to do well quickly. Well, yeah, we've created a system that helps people do that quickly based off what's worked for us over the course of years. So it's a lot of condensed experience condensed into like a few conversations, honestly. But
Yeah.
the point I'm getting at is when you're starting off and you're starting from like side hustle or like a couple $100s, like you really need to like stack up a little bit to like think about inventory. And this is a great way to learn cautiously without like, I guess, really like screwing up. Like you can make calculated risk. You can, have a bad deal, gone wrong, or accept noble failure. We accept noble failure, not repeated failure. There's something wrong if you're repeatedly
Yeah.
failing, but noble failure is acceptable, and the reach outs can be really forgiving because if you won't talk to a reseller who hasn't been screwed out of a deal at some point. Like, and if they haven't, they're probably not trying or an actual reseller. Um, but sometimes the things do go like south, but that is like to the margin. It is not like the general story. Like we find people deals all the time. And the cool thing is I think it's like a soft opener, right? You have a grand opening, but then you have like a soft opening or you're like beta testing something. It's almost like beta testing your skill set before you say, hey, I want to do something official like running ads. Because with ads, you're paying to broker conversations with people so that they can gain knowledge about what you do, right, Chris?
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
and so before you start doing that, like do this because when you start paying and the money's leaving your account, you're not going to spaz out because you don't have the negotiation skill set yet, or you don't know how to assess value, or you don't have the capital to purchase the stuff that you want to buy. Like, would you say, Chris, that it's fair to say that early onset frustration in this business oftentimes just comes from like an ambition that outruns like a person's experience level?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a really good way to put that. Um, and I think with a lot of people, it's just like it's a big mindset thing.
Hmm.
Like people have a hard time starting,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
Like people get really discouraged when they get told no.
Right.
Um,
They take
but
it personal.
they do. Yeah, they do take it personal. Um, and I get that because I felt the same way in the beginning is like, you know, the thing is like the person that's telling you no is not taking it personally. you know? So why are you taking it personally?
It's true.
It's not like they're insulting you, right? They're just telling you no. And if you can get good at saying no, it actually makes you more powerful too, right? Because whenever you tell somebody no, it always like gives that person more power. Like the person who says no usually has more power in the conversation, most of the time. But um, every no is progress, guys. It's also just planting seeds as well, letting people know that you exist, right? Now,
Hmm.
to circle back on that a little bit, like we like to use reach outs in the beginning as well. It's like that's why it's one of the main free things that we teach.
Yep.
Honestly, to just get people used to rejection, like because when you start paying for ads, um, you're still going to get rejected. FYI, like that's going to happen. So you might as well have some rejection experience in your past, you know, so that way you can deal with it when you're paying for the rejection,
Yeah.
right? Um, moving on to this next part, building your hit list. So this is actually something that ChatGPT helped me come up with. Hit list was not something I named this, but I really like it, so I'm going to go with it.
Let's go. Let's go
So
with it.
this is about like targeting specific items and also targeting specific platforms. So we like to use platforms. Obviously, we like Marketplace, right?
Hmm.
But then there's also OfferUp, Craigslist, and Nextdoor.
Hmm.
Can't tell you guys how many times we found deals on all of those.
Hmm.
Okay, but so there's a hit list for locations and places to go to connect with these people, right? To turn them into quote unquote leads. But then there's also a hit list of items as well that you want to go after. I'm going to give you guys the hit list that I usually give people. Okay. So inside of the tracking sheet that we give all of our clients, I have the first one, which is the electronics near you. So all of these links also open up to electronics that are like in the area, basically trained on well, I'm in San Diego. I'm in San Diego at the moment because I was finding deals for somebody else. But yeah, like first one is like electronics near me, but then we go down the list, right?
Hmm.
My on my hit list, first one is Valve Index. Why is Valve Index the first one? Well, because it's one of the most profitable items we can buy.
Hmm.
Next one is MetaQuest 3, Quest 2, Quest 1, Rift S, CV1. All of these are high ROI flips. These are my hit list items, right? And then switches. And then cracked iPhone comes up before the other iPhones, right? And then we got Samsungs. Now notice here, like Samsung Galaxy Note 7, if you
All
know
right.
the story about the Note 7, you
Oh
know that
boy.
that is money. Okay. And then you can kind of see like my hit list down. It goes from Samsung to Apple products, iPad, MacBook,
Hmm.
Apple Watch, and then game consoles below that. Right? Now, I can click every single one. I will find deals by
Hmm.
clicking and opening these every day, guaranteed, because I have a hit list
Yeah.
of items that I go after that I know are profitable daily. Okay. And people are posting these items daily. So if you have a list of items that you know that you can make money on,
Yep.
and you have qualified platforms that you know that they're going to be on,
Yep.
and you are willing to put in, the 20 to 50 reach outs that it's going to take to make that happen,
Hmm.
it's very hard to not make money.
It's true. Yeah.
So gather your hit list, boys and girls.
And and to be clear, guys, you don't need to run the table. Like if you join Console Kings or Recelerator, you get access to 70 to 75 different electronics
Yep.
that's not an iPhone. There's not an Apple product mentioned, like literally. And so this is a list in my mind that I've curated that people have access to that then exposes them to, okay, let me kind of like surf this channel and find, my favorite hits and just stick with that because typically that's what people do. Like, I know Chris has often told me his top 3 to 5 that he's looking for, like
Yep.
on any given moment. And like most people kind of have that because who has the bandwidth to source 70 items? Nobody,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, unless you're GameStop, and what do they have? An arsenal of employees. So until you've expanded your business where you've replicated yourself several times over and you're just buying the city, you're going to want to stick to like probably 3 to 5 items max because that's all you'll have capacity for. So I wanted to be clear that based on like this hit list Chris is talking about, you don't have to run the table. You just
Yeah.
need to know a few things, which makes this a lot easier and simpler.
My hit list is usually it's about 4 to 5 items.
Hmm.
Obviously iPhones,
Hmm.
MacBooks, iPads, VR, and
Hmm.
what's the last one? I can't remember the last one off the top of my head. I usually say Valve Index, but that falls into VR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Heard.
oh, Apple Watches are good for me. I
Hmm.
like those, especially the newer ones.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Hmm.
Um, so a couple other things, like whenever you're building your hit list, like there are also, and Matt talks about this a lot, reading the urgency and language in listings,
Yes.
like finding those, like the words, like I need to sell this today. I'm moving. I'm this. I'm that. Like I need this gone ASAP kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like those types of listings are the ones that should fall on the hit list, as you're going through the items on that list, right?
Yeah.
And I mean Matt, if you want to talk about that, you talk about that a lot.
Yeah. Well, we're not just looking for specific products. You can also find specific products that align with a specific type of person, right? Who are the easiest types of people to buy with, guys? People that want cash, but they don't know what they have. People that want cash, but they don't care what they have. They've moved on. And people that just need cash. And if you can identify based on the language in a listing any one of those three types of people, then that's opportunity. It's leverage because what it means is they're already looking for someone who can solve a problem they have.
Yeah.
You know that you can solve that problem. So almost regardless of what they're selling, you could probably step in and buy it for a reduced price or your offer price or less and be profitable, which means if you're in our arena and it's consoles or VR, you're going to easily be doing 70 to 100%, but we oftentimes see more than that. Like I've seen 120, 150% flips, which is incredible within the electronic space. So I think be aware you're not just looking for specific items, you're also looking for the language to dial you in. You just want to be clear on two things. Before you hand that person that money, are you certain of the type of person you're dealing with and the type of product that you're dealing with? And if you feel confident about that, make a transaction. Make it happen. Go make some money.
Yeah. So, also there's like sourcing routines here that I recommend. So you can everybody here should be between all the platforms.
Hmm.
You should be able to find 20 to 50 solid people to reach out to on a
Yep.
daily basis. And
Yep.
now I'm talking like start with Marketplace. Once you've exhausted Marketplace, you move to OfferUp. Once you've exhausted OfferUp, you move to Craigslist. Once you've
Hmm.
exhausted Craigslist, you move to Nextdoor,
Hmm.
right? Like go
Yep.
down obviously the list of like the most used platform first, right? And if you do that, you will find deals every single day, even if you're in a small area. Now, if you can't find 20 to 50, you probably need to expand the items that you buy. Okay, there's a lot of different types of electronics now, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of different ways to make money,
Yeah.
essentially. So, my go-to thing here is like whenever somebody joins Recelerator, I tell them they need to be making about 20 offers a day. 20 offers meaning like not 20 reach outs, like 20 total offers. Like I sent a dollar amount to 20 people.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do that, it is very hard to lose. Now that can be between ads, reach outs, all of it, right? Doesn't matter. Be
Hmm.
walking up to people on the street asking to buy their whatever and offering an amount. Like doesn't matter. 20 offers a day keeps the job away. Like
It does. Yes, it do,
so
folks.
um with that being said, let's move into what to say. So, some scripts, frameworks, and stuff that actually work.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that we like to use. My first one is I like to work with. I don't have a name for this, but I'm gonna call it the upsell opener.
Okay.
Um, ChatGPT is over here calling it the curiosity opener. I don't like that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call it the upsell opener
Hmm.
because I like to do something called like upsell sandwich, right? So now on Reach House, the way that I like to do it is like, hey, I run a business called blank, my business name.
Hmm.
And I buy MacBooks, phones, MacBooks, iPads, smartwatches, cameras, and more. If I were
Hmm.
able to pay cash today, would you take a lower offer? Right.
Hmm.
The reason I do that is because I'm upselling in the very first message. I'm
Yeah.
aiming to get more than one device from the very first message.
Yeah.
You guys have probably seen this on my YouTube channel. This is what I like to use. Um, there's another one that is kind of called the straight cash message that a good amount of people use. Aaron Goldstein uses it. And it basically goes like this. Um, hey, I can pick this up today if or hey, I can buy this for blank today and pick it up today, kind of thing. Basically is how it works. Like you just get straight to it. Like that's the first message kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And then there is so I used to call this the shotgun method, which now doesn't really work. That was basically a spray and pray kind of thing, but I mean it did work. Um, by volume, right? Like it worked because the volume was there. Marketplace is now limiting your volume. So that's fine. It is what it is. We're entrepreneurs. You know, we change and we grow and we
Right.
do stuff, right?
Adjust with the waves and the current.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then you also have Matt's three ping method,
Hmm.
which according to last Tuesday's call, with all the other Recelerator students and Console King students,
Yeah,
is still working and they're not getting limited, right, Matt?
that's correct. So far, I mean, there were about 20 people in the chat at the time, and everybody chimed in and said, "We're golden. It's going great." And I was like, "Cool, keep killing it."
So can you kind of explain the three ping method?
Sure. It's just a more conversational approach to reach outs where you introduce yourself to the person. You ask, make them aware that you saw the item and that you're interested in wanting to get it. And then, finally, you just need to check and see, okay, is there some, I'm not going to give you guys the literal script. I'm not going to do it. Okay. You're not going to get all the sauce, but you'll get, a savor of it. Um, and then you just want to, finally, you do need to know if actually that item is still up for grabs. And so if you can even facilitate that in your own words, guys, then you could probably cultivate your own kind of method or approach. The thing is, like scripts are great, but I think also it's important that you can take ownership of the way that you communicate and make it sound like you, um, because that also makes it distinct and specific. And you can also kind of like brand your city with the way you choose to do business. And so, yeah, there are guys that take my exact template and modify it to their own liking. And you know what? I don't care. Like, I just know that it's been working for me for years, and it seems to still be working.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely still working. So, um, but basically, guys, what it is, he's not going to give the script, but it's basically like one message, two message, three message.
Right. The
Like
three pings is because that very distinct pinginess from
that's the group.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And what's that done? What's that to do, guys? It's designed to create a sense of urgency so that people stop what they're doing and they jump right into this conversation and start talking to you,
Yeah.
right? Because if you hear your phone once, that's one thing. But if your phone's like bing, bing, bing,
Yeah.
and you have something, oh, who's not going to stop what they're doing and immediately pay attention to like it
Yeah.
hits.
So the next part of all of this is like negotiating through DMs with reach outs.
Hmm.
I'll be real, my way of negotiating with reach outs is quite different from the way that I negotiate with ads. And that's because there are two different people with two different mindsets that are messaging me, right? So the way I like to do it with reach outs is like this. Um, so I'll start off with my script, my little upsell stuff, letting them know
Yeah.
that I buy more than, just whatever they have.
Hmm.
Um, if we don't agree on a price, basically what I'll do is I'll be like, all right, cool, no problem. If anything changes, let me know. My offer's good for 7 days.
Yep.
Um, and that's it. Like that's how I end the message after I make the offer and they say no, and we go back and forth a little bit. Um, I'll just end it by saying, okay, not a problem. If anything changes, let me know. My offer is good for 7 days. And I mainly do this on like gaming consoles, VR headsets, and stuff like that. And the reason for that is because you guys would be surprised at how many people come back when they haven't gotten another offer.
That's true. That's so true. That's so, so true.
Like it's like planting the seed and then like waiting 3 days and then they reach back out and they're like, "Hey, is that offer still available?" I can't tell you how many times that's happened.
Yeah.
Um, just because I didn't care if I got it or not, basically. It was
Yeah.
like, if anything changes, let me know. I can pay, and that's the way
Yeah.
it works.
Which
Uh,
I think also speaks to the capacity to diversify what you're buying, because if you have access to like 70, 75 some odd items, you're not really concerned about where the next deal's coming from.
yeah, exactly.
Like you don't need that. Like they need the cash you have, but you don't need the product they have because you could be buying like 12 other things.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, it's a big part of it. Also, like in the negotiation, like one of the main things that I like to do, like if the conversation is going well, I like to grab the phone number. Um, and I learned this from Tyler Bass a while back, where he like if he was closing the deal, he would be like, "Hey, Messenger's been a little glitchy for me lately. Can you send over your phone number just in case I have trouble getting in contact with you?"
Hmm.
And that way you can
Okay.
also add them to your CRM, follow up with them, and stuff like
Nice.
that. It's a pretty genius thing to do. I like it. Um, so I also want to talk about some metrics that drive results. There are metrics when it comes to reach outs you need to be tracking. If you don't track, you don't care, right?
Hmm.
So things like reach outs per day, response rate, conversion rate, show up rate, and then your closed deal percentage, right? So for
Hmm.
example, you do 100 reach outs, right? 30 people reply, right?
Hmm.
You get, let's just say, um, 3 meetings, right? Total. 10% close on the replies, which is pretty common for consoles. Um, and then that leads to 3 deals, right? So baseline expectations 1 to 5% close rate, 6 to 10% with skill. Anything above 10% is actually very good. Now, there's one metric that I really like to track because I think it changes the mindset on how you do reach outs, and that's profit per reach out. So this is a metric that I made up. But basically is like you take the profit that you're currently making from your reach outs, you
Hmm.
divide it by how many reach outs you've done, and then
Hmm.
it gives you like what you're making for every reach out that you do. So this was a strategy that I gave to Navon early on. Um, and he was making what he told me, I think he was making like $2 per reach out that he did. And he was like, I saw that as money. Like, so it showed like it gave him like an incentive to keep doing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Is
Hmm.
because he could basically see the dollar signs happening every time he reached out to somebody.
Hmm.
And that's a really good metric that I like to take into account
Yeah.
because I think it gives a sense of like, oh, I'm actually making something by doing the work, you know? Because a lot of people will go in and just do it and not track anything, and then they can't measure anything, which makes it really tough.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that's one thing I like to throw out there is like do that for sure. I'm looking at one of our guys' sheets right now. His profit per reach out right now is he did 13 reach outs, but he made $5.40 per reach out that he did. So he made a little bit of money off of that. So, but
At
he's
least he
actually making
knows.
making more off of ads, it looks like. So, which is fine, right? So,
Yep. It's all good.
um, that's the way the game works.
Hmm.
But like, if you can like make it a game somehow, and you're like, oh, I make $2 per every reach out that I do, or even like 50 cents per reach out that I do, it's something,
Yep.
you know. So, I love metrics, I love tracking, I love that stuff, just because I feel like it uncovers the actual system behind it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so,
Guys, you can't manage what you don't measure, guys.
mhm,
Like,
yeah. So whenever we have check-ins with our clients, like that's the first thing I ask for is their tracking sheet. And if it's not filled out, I'll ask them and I'll be like, well, how do you expect me to help you with your business if you're not tracking your business? Like we could be solving the wrong problem, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and it doesn't help to solve the wrong problem.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like all it does is make more problems, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So tracking provides a lot of clarity. The next part here is scaling with systems. So obviously daily quotas. A beginner is not going to be hitting as many reach outs as an advanced person typically.
Right.
Um, like normally in the beginning, we see people do like 20 to 50 a day, maybe less, depending on how things are going. But then we see some people who do, like Bryce, Gaddison and people like that who just do consistently 100 reach outs a day across multiple platforms. Like
Good.
that's his baseline at this point.
Yeah.
So and that's what
That's
he
wild.
said on the podcast, not us, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um,
That's wild.
but he also runs ads. So he's got deals coming from everywhere at this point. And that's what happens when you do it this way. When you do the reach outs, when you run the ads, when you do all of the stuff, makes it very hard to not get deals. So,
Yeah, it's
and then
true.
if you layer in systems on top of that with tools like Marketplace Monitor and stuff like that,
Right.
that takes it to the next level.
It does.
Because Marketplace Monitor doesn't only just do Marketplace, it does OfferUp, Craigslist. I don't know if it does Nextdoor, but it also does eBay Local, which is a
Hmm.
big one. You know, like
Yeah.
there's people listing
Yep.
stuff on eBay all the time too.
Yep.
So, like when you layer in tools that actually help you, that can also like weed out items that you don't want, so you're not, on Marketplace all day long. Um, because
True.
I know a lot of people listening to this are, you're just scrolling Marketplace every day. I don't do that. I do get items sent directly to my phone with a Marketplace Monitor, so it makes
Hmm.
my life a lot easier. Um, and then yeah, I mean, creating repeatable systems to prevent burnout.
Hmm.
You can get burned out with reaching out. Also, one thing I notice is people will go on like a reach out binge, and Matt, you probably see this like a reach out binge where they're like that's all they're doing, then they run out of money. And then they
Yeah.
have to like sell stuff. And then
Right.
they like
And
stop.
then they DM me complaining that stuff's not selling.
Guys, I have a little tip. The faster you list something, the faster it usually sells.
True.
Just saying. Like
Yeah,
you wait a week to list it, well, it could have sold during the week that you weren't listing it.
it's true. Yeah, it's like steering. It's like it's easier to steer a car that's already in motion, guys. So like get it listed. You can decide how you feel about it later. Um,
Yeah.
but get it posted
At least
because you
take the
can't,
pictures.
for sure, you can't sell what you haven't listed. So if you want to complain to yourself that you don't have any money from sales, that's your own fault because you haven't taken action yet. And go take a long, good look in the mirror and then start listing again, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, it's hard to sell stuff then when it's not up there, you know.
yeah, seems to be the
Um,
case
yeah, at least that's what I've observed.
for sure.
So, um, so some common mistakes to avoid with talking with people for reach outs and things like that. This is a big one. Um, Sounding desperate or needy. This is
Hmm.
something we talk about pretty often, Matt.
Yeah.
And about how and this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the negotiation stuff is like I'm not desperate or needy for their deal.
Hmm.
Like I don't need their deal and you don't want it to come off that way either.
Right.
You don't want that because if
True.
you do that, well then you give them all the power. Like once they realize that they need that you need their thing, then they have all the power at that point.
Yeah. You can usually smell desperation or insecurity. Um, so I think a good method, guys, is fake it till you make it. Like maybe you really do need that item, but you haven't been in the game long. If you think that and you're convinced of that, you haven't been in the game long enough for experience to tell you differently. You don't. Okay. Chris got 8+ years in this game, 6 years for myself, flipping just purely consoles and VR systems. Like you don't need the item that bad. Like, just take a step back.
Yep. Um, Writing giant paragraphs
Oh gosh.
when you're
Oh
messaging
gosh.
people. Justifying why you can only. I see this all the time whenever I'm looking at people with like ads and stuff. Is like they'll send an entire paragraph on like why they can't pay a certain amount for an item. The customer does not care. They do
Yeah,
not care at all. Okay. So don't send paragraphs. Keep everything kind of short and sweet and easy for them. All
it's
right.
true. Yeah.
Um, so it's funny. I was helping out some physical therapists yesterday because I'm really good at local marketing, right? And this is a funny story, but it's going to relay back here. And this lady was like, yeah, I want to get people on a call and, so that I can tell them about my qualifications and how I can help people and, and blah, 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 so that they know that I'm qualified to help them. I'm like, you're really not going to like this. But if I'm a customer and I'm calling you because I have back pain, I do not give a flying crap about the thing that's on your wall. My back pain. That's all I care about. Like,
Hmm.
don't sell that. Like, no, she was like a big long paragraph, you know,
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
like, well, here's why I'm qualified. I don't care. Like, as long as you've helped other people in the past like me,
Hmm.
we're good. I'm willing to pay. I don't care
Yeah.
about the degree that you have. So, what I'm saying here, guys, is don't send long paragraphs trying to justify things at all.
Yeah. People major on minors and they just get caught in the weeds of stuff that is unimportant. And it's weird because you can you can do the details in like the completely wrong area of your business and miss like the big picture.
Yeah.
Um, but I think a thing that's helpful for me, and I think about this with like eBay listings, is I go back and I'm like, wait, what am I going to be drawn to about this listing if I'm buying it? And that helps to appropriate like my right level of focus and actions towards the right things, rather than just like spending time on nonsensical stuff that customers don't pay attention to.
Yeah. People don't care. They just want their money. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all they
or
want.
they want the result, like the solution,
Yeah,
right?
they want the solution, the result, which is usually money. So,
That's the
so
problem we solve, guys.
give them what they want, not a whole sob story or whatever.
Yeah.
Some advanced tactics on this on reach outs, guys. So this is a good one that I like to do, reactivation campaigns. So if you have people that you have bought stuff from before, the easiest person to close again is the person that you closed yesterday. So
Good
if you
point.
have people that you've closed on Marketplace before, it might help to reach back out to those people and be like, hey, do you have any other, phones, MacBooks, iPads, smartwatches, cameras, or anything else that I can buy and put cash in your hands today?
Hmm.
Reactivation campaigns, guys, it's one of the most powerful pieces in any local business or any business in general. And we have the greatest offer in the world. Once again, like we give people money. So reactivate leads. Um, let's see, upselling inside of reach outs. So this is a tactic that I really like. So whenever you go to somebody's seller profile, you can see what other items they have listed, and sometimes they'll also have other electronics listed at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes I'll actually look at that before I ever message on the original item.
Hmm.
And I'll actually use Matt's three ping method for this, and message them and be like, "Hey, I also saw that you had this other item. I buy those too. You want
Hmm.
to sell them both?" And then we negotiate and like if you bundle items together that they're selling, the likelihood that they sell to you goes up even further
True.
because you're knocking out like two or three birds with one stone for them.
Yep.
So it also justifies them discounting it too. So
Yeah. And
it's
it's
kind of
and then we've discussed this before, but there's also something about the psychology of buying an item. And once they know you're going to you're going to pay them like a fair price for that item. The grip on the other stuff just seems to like lessen,
Yep.
and you usually get you might pay full price for an item, guys, like that, you make, I don't know, 10, 20%, let's say hypothetically, but then you make 50, 100% on the other stuff just because now they trust you.
Hmm.
And rapport matters.
It does. 100%. A couple other things on this stuff, guys. The truth about outbound DMs, and we'll kind of start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
Here's the reality. 95% of people are going to say no. That's just how it is. That's just the numbers game, right? Baseline numbers are what they are. 95% are going to say no, but you're planting seeds with every no.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, Follow up is a secret weapon to the people that say no. Okay. Using little lines like, "Hey, I saw this was still up. Is it still, are you still trying to sell it?" There's little things like that. You never know when you're going to hit somebody in like one of their desperation modes, you know? Like they may have just had to take the car to the shop and they might need some money. And then, you never know. You
You
really
might be the
don't.
source. Yeah, you might be.
Exactly. And then speed, volume, and follow up again. So speed to lead. This is an important topic. Being one of the first people to message is always one of the best things that you can do. I recommend Marketplace Monitor for this so that you can
Hmm.
get notified within seconds of an item actually hitting Marketplace so that you can be the first one to message somebody. The reason I say that is because it matters. Right now in our community, when a Valve index hits in somebody's area, typically our guys are the first people. Like, this
It's
is how
true.
it is.
It really is. Yeah.
In the words of like Spencer a couple podcasts ago, he's like, I'm getting 1.5 valve indexes a week right now, which is great. So considering a lot of them sit on Marketplace for weeks.
Yeah.
One of those items that just nobody buys. Nobody knows how to buy them and flip them.
Yeah. And who's dropping $1,000 on Facebook Marketplace for that person's inflated price? Like
There.
nobody.
Yeah. Um, Volume. You have to do volume. It's the only way to get the reps in. The only way to do it. Okay. FU money. Follow ups. Follow up money. Use follow-ups. Follow up with people. I don't know how many times I have to say that
That's really
for like
funny.
our clients to get it in their brain. Um, because like I say it enough. Following up is one of the most important things you can ever do in any business. Okay? Any business. Typically also what we see here, guys, is the first 1,000 reach outs you do is like that's your training ground. That's your Rocky cutscene.
That's a really
Okay.
good point. Yeah.
That first 1,000 is the hardest. When you go from 1,000 to 2,000, you start getting a lot better. And then by
Well,
3,000 plus, it's instinct at that point. You know what
yeah.
you're looking for.
Chris, what would you say to the person listening that's going like, oh, 1,000? Oh,
It's just one deal at a time, bro.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, let me put it this way. Would you rather go out on the street and talk to 1,000 people, or would you rather just do it through Facebook Marketplace, offer up Craigslist, and places like that? I feel like it
Yeah.
might be a lot easier the second way. We live in the digital age where
There are
things are
harder
a lot
ways to make
easier.
money. That's absolutely true.
I mean, you can go out and talk to 1,000 people. It might take you a while though.
Yeah.
Like if you really tried, you could
Yeah.
probably talk to 1,000 people in a day.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but you probably
It
could do
is.
it. Like if it was
Hmm.
a life and death situation, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
you'd probably figure out a way to do it.
Hmm.
Um, Platforms, obviously Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, Nextdoor. There's four different platforms that we recommend. There's probably a couple more out there, but
Yeah.
those are the main ones that we recommend. Um, but yeah, guys, that's the whole thing on reach outs. If you're struggling right now on like being limited with how many messages you're able to send, um, try three pinging people. We're not going to give you guys a script because that's not fair to Matt. But um, basically, you just send three consecutive messages in a row, and it works better that way.
Yeah.
Um,
just be more conversational, guys. Like if you approach it like you're just shotgunning, I'm a business. Like Facebook is going to blast you down.
Yeah,
It's just that's the trend that we're seeing. And so like what's the workaround? How do we pivot? How do we adjust? Like just make it seem like you're a guy who just wants that product and do that with each person. And you're probably not going to have a problem.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been another episode of the Smart Flip podcast. Um, if you want extra information, free information, join the school community. You can also grab my book off of Amazon or on the podcast itself. Um, you can also check out Console Kings, and then Recelerator if you're serious. Um, Recelerator is getting a little bit more strict with the rules on joining, just because we are having quite a few people join right now. And it's getting a little hectic, but that's fine. We're going to continue delivering at a high level as we do. And yeah, and if you're looking to take it from a side hustle to a business, then that's the best way to go. So with that
Yeah.
being said, my friends, this is another episode of the podcast, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.